Chad Moyer with you now on the Rural Radio Network. Let's take a midday look at the markets and focus on what's going on over on the livestock side of the markets. Here for some insights today, Zach Tyndall. He's with Producers Livestock, and want to talk about what we're seeing now. Zach, last couple of days we saw a little bit of strength, especially in cattle. Hogs have been kind of back and forth.
Well, we had good cash news, 240 again here in the north, 230 in the south. Pretty well steady with last week, and I think that was probably the expectation. Maybe guys wanted a little bit more, and maybe the early week expectation was a little bit higher, and then we had the futures down early in the week, and we've rebounded since. But I'm not going to call cash a disappointment this week, but I think there was a little bit of hope that cash would be maybe a couple dollars better than a week ago, and we just haven't seen that. So higher here this morning, and as you said, we pulled back down about $1 across all the fat contracts, and feeders are down about $1.50. I think we're seeing a little bit of pressure from the corn and wheat markets in the feeder cattle right now, down about $1.50 there. They're well off their highs, but index still very supported. Cash feeders are awfully high, continue to set new records there every day. And the cash markets are basically what's pushing this market, and the futures are at a steep discount, especially on the fat cattle, and there's a little bit of a gap to fill in between those. So we'll see what we do going forward here, but the bull needs fed every day, and with markets up here at these lofty levels, it's kind of hard for them to go up every day, and market corrections aren't necessarily an unhealthy thing. Hogs coming off their highs as well, found a little bit of strength coming off the cutout overnight. Cutout was a little bit higher and definitely helping them. Cash markets are hanging right in there, and they had a pretty good correction coming off that hogs and pigs report, and we're seeing a little recovery, getting most of the losses back, but definitely watching the cutout there, and that's what's pushing that market more than anything.
All right, thanks again so much, Zach Tyndall, Producers Livestock. You can reach out at 712-274-0539. This is the Rural Radio Network.
Welcome to Rodeo 60. I'm Rebel Ciclocha, bringing you all things rodeo in 60 seconds or less. The National High School Finals Rodeo is underway this week in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Representing Nebraska are the top 4 athletes in each event from the Nebraska High School Finals Rodeo that took place in June. This year's rodeo features 1,779 contestants, 2,169 entries, and over $358,000 in added money. 6 countries and 53 states and provinces are represented, with just 18 world champions to be crowned. The rodeo will continue through Saturday, July 19th. Find updates on how our Nebraska athletes are competing on the national stage at ruralradionetwork.com under the Rodeo News tab. That'll do it for Rodeo 60, all things rodeo in 60 seconds or less.
This is the market update. I'm Bruce Gorder on the Rural Radio Network. December corn futures rising above the 20-day moving average for the first time in more than a couple of weeks. Corn is threatening to finish higher for the 4th time in the past 5 days. Weather in the short term continues to be favorable, with the central U.S. looking at nearly daily showers in much of the Corn Belt, favoring the eastern belt. There is a bit of concern over the forecast for temperatures to heat up past July 26th, but the hotter pattern at this point looks to be short-lived. And the NOAA, of course, NOAA did come on Thursday with their 3-month outlook coverage, August through October, and it appears to call for above normal temperatures. However, those corn areas in the drought have again been reduced, with just 9% of the corn experiencing some form of drought. December corn is up 8 cents at $4.29. March up 7 3/4 at $4.46 1/4. September soybeans up 9 1/2 at $10.21 1/2. November up 10 1/4 at $10.36 3/4. December wheat in Chicago 14 3/4 higher at $5.69. December Kansas City up 13 3/4 at $5.53 3/4. December wheat in Minneapolis up 4 1/4 at $6.20. August live cattle down 75 at $222.90. October down $1.35 at $218.97. August feeder cattle down 210 at $322.90. September down 217 at $323.25. October lean hogs down 45 at $90.15. December up 27 at $82.60. Class 3 milk for August is down a dime at $17.62. And you're listening to the Rural Radio